Hey, everybody. Going to be joined by Drew Hodgdon here in a second. Drew, hey, oh, look at your internet connection. Good for you, buddy.
I know. Look at me coming up. And
um, I was just telling everybody that you and I went through a miserable season in 2005, which also happened to be your rookie season, right? Do I have the dates right?
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Um,
Your picture looks good, but I can't hear you for crap. Um, so, oh, there you go. Okay, so in 2005, you were a rookie, and I always the thing about going through a season like the Texans are going through right now at 1-7-1 was as a veteran player, I felt I felt like I was letting down a lot of people by like not being a better example or a better leader providing a better culture because I know what it's like to step into something like that. So today, I do want to talk about Brandon Cooks. I want to talk about the interior offensive line because Kenyon Green is a rookie interior offensive lineman the way you were on a really bad football team. Lovie Smith's defense in general because our defense sucked that year in 2005 when we went 2-14. And then we've got some Derek Carr press conference because the Raiders are going through a miserable season too. And Derek Carr got emotional, or at least appeared to be emotional. I don't know if you saw the press conference yet or not, Drew, but is it
I
genuine?
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
What's your before we go over it a little bit later? What was your impression? Genuine emotions or contrived emotions?
I think when you're finding yourself in a moment to I mean, it's intense to kind of be on display post competitive moment anyway.
Yeah.
But I think when you may have talked yourself into a little bit of theater on the emotional side, then it all can kind of quickly transition into actual tears, no matter what. I think that
Oh
might, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, I think that
Yeah.
you're, maybe he went a little too method
He
and
method
then it
acted his
all,
way into it. Good for
yeah, I
him.
think it kind of stumbled into it because it definitely comes off as pretty weird, pretty uncomfortable. It
Oh,
was hard to watch.
okay, so we'll get to that because it's beautiful. It's beautiful theater
Oh
or
yeah,
real raw
yeah.
emotion, whatever it is. Okay, so you come in, you're a rookie, you get to the NFL, all your dreams have been fulfilled, and it's just a matter of time until glory and greatness, and you find yourself on a team that's 2-14. It's going to go 2-14, and we're a mess in a lot of ways that year.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember if there's any drama like there's been with Brandon Cooks, where Brandon Cooks wanted to get traded, uh, voiced his displeasure after the trade, went MIA, ended up not playing in a football game,
Right.
and then all of a sudden finds himself back in not playing in a football game versus the best team in the league at the time in the Eagles. Just basically abandoning everybody the week before the Eagles game.
Yeah.
But then finds himself reinstated. I don't remember any drama quite like that because I don't know if I've seen that kind of drama really anywhere in the NFL at any point for a veteran player.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. We didn't have any veterans that, I mean, to be honest, the veterans that I perceived at the time, especially as a rookie, that were there and kind of picking up the torch, it was, it was you, it was Kylie Long. Kylie went down with a pretty brutal knee injury, I remember, like midway through the year.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have veterans at the time that had that kind of open malcontent. I mean, there wasn't really anyone like that. And so, and honestly, I think also Derek Carr had such a squeaky clean
David Carr.
image.
Yeah.
David, excuse me.
No, I do it all the
Older
time.
older brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That he kind of felt like he was just exempt from any kind of drama or scrutiny from the
Yeah.
press. So even if he had been doing anything, then it just wasn't even going to remotely get caught that way.
Yeah, so we didn't. That was I can't. I'm trying to not feel like a grumpy old man about this Brandon Cook stuff, and I feel like Brandon Cooks kind of looks like he's 40 years old, and he's always got a grumpy look on his like
Right.
he's kind of
Yeah.
serious, like a dad that you would be scared of.
Right.
So I feel like it's in his special. It's especially a betrayal because it feels like he's kind of a boomer or Gen X,
Yeah, it does.
and like he's being the most diva-like possible guy right now. Which you'd heard rumors about or at least there was speculation when he was a young player in New Orleans that he was a malcontent, but there were never any reports after that. The question I always get that I struggle to answer is when people ask, like, well, what's it like in the locker room when a guy does that and then he comes back?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because I don't have any experience with what Brandon Cooks has done. I do know that you kind of compartmentalize things in a lot of ways with a lot of guys that you might not think are – you might not be cool with things that they've done either on the field, in the locker room, or in their personal lives, but you just kind of compartmentalize. I feel like now that he's back, it's probably not that big a deal, or am I crazy on that?
No, and I think especially to your point, I mean, that's a big deal if you're making a playoff push, if you're a team that's really competing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you're in survival mode and you're on a 1-8-1 team, potentially, then I don't think that's something that you have the luxury of fixating on when you're a player in the locker room. I mean, like you said, it's all about the compartmentalization skills that you've accrued over time. Like when you're on a bad team, I mean, that's just not where your head's at.
So I want to show you this, and we'll jump right to it since I jumped into it accidentally. The interior offensive line. And this is why I wanted to talk to you too, because you were a rookie that year. You're trying to learn how to play center. Right. You weren't starting, and you weren't a first-round pick like Kenyon Green. But Kenyon Green, first-round pick, left guard here. This play, and I only do this almost for anybody watching this that thinks that any pressure up the center is the fault of the interior offensive line. I always double-check with you, as you know, on who screwed up on whichever play. But I got to say, this one, it feels like it's all Davis Mills because there's an overload blitz where you have 5 guys against 3, 4 if you include Rex Burkhead, on the left side of the offensive line, and they just get overwhelmed and destroyed. It's a corner blitz. So, like Davis Mills there, for one, should have seen that coming pre-snap and at the very least anticipated it. So he gets crushed there. That's probably not the best example of why the interior line is weak right there, is it?
No, I mean, it's the fact that they're showing it so early is concerning. I mean, when your rep is that you're a smart guy, and you're not going to out-athlete guys, especially edge pressure like that, then you have to see it before, and they're literally showing it.
Right,
everyone's
it's right
standing
there.
in line.
Like,
it's right
it
there.
Shouldn't be a surprise to you.
Yeah, I mean, other teams handle protections differently when they show it like that. They'll have the offensive line all come down, and they'll have the running back take the widest edge defense, things like that. But that's incidental. You can assume that they knew what they were doing because there were bodies on bodies, and they didn't do a phenomenal job of picking it up. But still, he's got to know he has no time there, and he doesn't look like he even had a clue that that's what was going on.
So that one's on Davis Mills, and I'm going to be try to be like as even-handed as possible with Davis Mills because he's a second-year player, and I get frustrated and I want to crush him at times. This is a really nice would-be touchdown throw to Brandon Cooks. It's relevant too because I think he makes a better read on this than he did earlier in the game on a play I'm going to show you. But so this ends up being a really nice throw to Brandon Cooks.
Mills looks, throw,
touchdown.
Brandon Cooks. In recent weeks.
But the problem is it gets called back because Kenyon Green gets called for a hold. And the other part about Kenyon Green, Drew, is that he's faced 3 weeks in a row, Tennessee, then the Eagles, and now the Giants, like some really good.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not getting any reprieve. Being a rookie. So
so I want to get your opinion on this hold. We can watch it a couple times because I didn't send this to you beforehand. But he's one-on-one here.
Tennessee had to deal with the Philadelphia guys.
Yeah,
I mean that's just hands are on the outside. There's that's just bad from the get-go there.
Yeah, it is. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah. So I mean what have you been seeing from him? Because he was a mauler in college, and I feel like he's trying to learn how to play with technique and with his hands. And he's not.
Well, what's doesn't look great on this too is that he's setting to an inside guy, so he's getting beat all the way to the outside pretty clean. I mean that's not what you want, right? Like you got to play the angles. I mean he should be just setting, knowing he has the the center is setting away in the slide pro. The center's helping him with the post.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for him to set all the way inside and get beat by an outside move.
Yeah, and that. Okay.
I mean, that's you got to think like if you've done pass pro all through college against good defenders, especially a guard, like you're heavy inside. Don't give that up. That's a little. But it's easy to say. These are good rushers. I mean, these guys are good. It's not, it's not an accident.
Right. But he's also like
he's a high pick.
I get the sense with him that he's trying real hard to do the right thing, and he's just
he doesn't look lazy. That's not the problem.
No.
That's not the problem. Like he doesn't look like he's not giving effort. So that's the thing where he's clearly an athlete. He can move pretty good for a guy who looks that heavy. But
okay. Now that's another part of him, because I think sometimes we talk about guys getting in the NFL weight room and how much that can change them, or getting the NFL dietitian's advice.
Yeah,
that's what he needs. The only thing I worry about is that he went to A&M. It's not like he was lacking for resources.
100%.
It's not like they weren't lifting weights or anything. I'd love to blame this on Jimbo Fisher with the year that Jimbo Fisher is having, but
it's not an FBS guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who was at a preeminent program that has all the support that you need to be good. So
that's where I think Laramie Tunsil keeps himself in really good shape. Almost too much so. Like until this year where Laramie Tunsil, I think something got into him, and it might be the offensive line coach, where Laramie's starting to care a lot more about run blocking, which I like. He was almost a little too pretty for my own liking before, as far as
right. You're too vascular. You're a little too vascular and long. I need a guy with a little more, some curves.
Dwayne Brown went through that. Dwayne Brown got slimmed down one year, and I'm like, all right, that's great and all. And I know in the Kubiak offense, it's good to be more athletic, but you're about 10 pounds below your ideal weight. Totally. And it was like once Halloween hit, all of a sudden he started playing better, because I think he hit the Halloween candy hard, and then he was all right. So
can't relate.
Kenyon Green has to be somewhere between Laramie Tunsil and, I don't know, who's the fattest. Texans have had.
He's got a soft body. I mean, he kind of looks like he's a little bit of a soft body.
His face is kind of like, he looks like an adolescent boy.
The problem, though, this, Seth, is that it's really hard. You can project onto any offensive lineman's body whatever the performance issues are that they're having. Yeah. It's really easy to do that. It's because every offensive lineman can be shaped a lot of different ways, and they can be good in a myriad of ways, regardless of how they look. It's weird, man. It's really weird. I mean, he can come out next year, look twice as doughy, and just be better because he got his body weight in the right spot. You know what I mean? He's just taking better angles. It's tricky.
Okay, so this is Charles Davis, who's the commentator. I like getting Charles Davis because I feel like he actually studies the games. The film that
he does.
I like learning something about. You know who else? Adam Archuleta, because he's done a couple games this year.
Yeah,
I like Archuleta played in Lovie Smith's defense. I feel like when defensive backs.
Yeah, that's right.
They're like you with offensive linemen, where you always kind of, you never want to criticize totally and completely because you don't know what the call was.
Right. You don't want to completely destroy them when you realize they were actually supposed to have help. Yeah.
Or they're covering for somebody else. That's the big one. There's a few little film heads that are learning the game. A lot of times what happens when somebody has a really bad rep on film, it's actually because they were expecting help from somebody, so they don't get the help, and then all of a sudden, like, you've left that gap wide open, and you're screwed. So
the most egregious looking fails.
Charles Davis talked about the play action and how the Texans have been getting duped on it, and you could tell they had this ready to go, like this was a package they had talked about beforehand, so they were setting it up, during the game, looking for elements of this, and you saw, okay, I mean, this is just so perfect. This is what happens. It's just a good display, and it was really quick during the game, so I want people to see just how wide open it is right there when the linebackers bite on play action, and your safeties could do better, but like that's supposed to be a more uncomfortable throw. Even if the linebackers aren't perfect in coverage, their bodies are supposed to be there, and it just leaves everything wide open, and it happens like routinely enough. The thing that the thing that upsets me there is that that's the kind of thing that really, like, for one, Christian Kirksey is there because he's a veteran player.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be showing those younger guys cues
Not
on
to
film.
do that.
Yeah, like that stuff that you just there's a tell somewhere. Somewhere
Right.
there's a tell that's telling these guys, a smart veteran linebacker, that no, this isn't actually run. You don't have to fill this hard. And they're not getting it done. That's the kind of stuff that I worry about. Although there it wasn't as bad.
It's pretty rough though. I mean, it's just the inverse of what happens when early in a season you're on offense and you've gotten smoked on specific blitzes or just blitzes in general, pressures. You know that now the whole rest of the year, everyone's just going to be bringing the heat, and they've been getting burnt on the ground.
Yeah.
They've just been giving up chunks of yardage, and so now it's like they're going to get it. They're just going to get this play action the whole rest of the year.
And you know what? This one wasn't even as great as an example of it. This was.
But they got all three of them.
Daniel Jones made a good play. Well, he got to safety too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, which is coming. Oh, yeah, but then he got dusted. Yeah, it's like that every week. Christian Harris played well this last week. I felt like it was his first really, kind of big time. Like actually played a complete game, wasn't making a bunch of rookie errors. Okay, this is the last one that we're going to go through, and I want you to get ready to get your – oh, no, you know what? We'll do one more. We'll do one more first because I'm going to play you a little bit of what I did for KHOU Channel 11 on Sunday night, which was this play. This play had a lot of people – I might have my voice on there. Everybody, you're going to get treated a double Seth Payne today. So this is the play that a lot of people were upset about because it looked like Brandon Cooks was wide open. And, you know, sometimes you wonder on TV copy, like, okay, well, maybe I didn't see the whole picture. Let me take you through this breakdown. This play had a lot of people talking because it sure did look like Brandon Cooks could have been wide open for a touchdown on 3rd and 9. Instead, Davis Mills attempted a pass to Chris Moore. It did not work out, and right here is the read. This is where he should know that Brandon Cooks is even with the cornerback. That means he's leaving that cornerback, but you think, oh, maybe it's a muddy pocket, maybe there was pressure. No, look in the lower right-hand corner. At this exact time, Davis Mills had space. He had time to throw. He just chose the conservative route. This is how you keep games close into the fourth quarter, but don't win those games. It's a lack of aggressiveness. Davis Mills hasn't figured this out yet. He's got to get aggressive earlier, more often, be more confident, see guys become open before they're open. You know, and had space. And actually, that's where I like, especially when you talk about being aggressive. If he's going to throw to Chris Moore right there, which isn't the right read is like you see, okay, you understand these guys are locked up in man. Like as soon as you see that, the quarterback, a veteran quarterback knows, oh, okay.
It's one-on-one.
It's
one-on-one.
He's
got to be. They're hip to hip. Yeah.
And they're hip to hip. He's even, he's leaving. Like, that's the throw right there. But even if it isn't, like, you still should know instantly if for whatever reason, remember, it's 3rd and 7 here. So if for whatever reason you decide that, oh, I'm going to go with Chris Moore because look at all the space he's got, and I'll get and then he'll have room to get up there and get the first down. That's an easy throw. He waited too long on it. You know, and that's like, so there just doesn't end up. That's the part that's frustrating right now. I'm trying to stay calm and remember that he's just a second-year player. He didn't have a bunch of starts in college, and that he can get better. It's just that right now there's nothing that makes me feel like, oh yeah, this guy's the guy. He'll be fine. Look at him. He's on his way.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, that's you're watching it, and I think for the most part, you know, you're doing your best to be completely objective about what the product is, given all those things. Didn't play a ton of games in college, didn't play a ton of games yet in the NFL, but it's hard to see the silver lining anywhere because he's not very accurate. He throws high a lot of the time. It looks like it's gotten better the last couple of weeks, to be honest, but still, and he doesn't look like he has the inherent ability to just make plays, which it sounds so simple, but we were texting about it. It's just, at the end of the day, he's got to show you that he just will make a play. He'll turn the long yardage, you know, those long yardage 3rd downs and convert them. He'll do something when he's scrambling. He's shown that he can get away from trouble a little bit, but nothing good happens when he's doing it.
He's had a few like laser throws into the end zone. He showed some touch to the Nico Collins touchdown on that Nico Collins touchdown. I think the problem is that he is a quarterback who if he's going to develop, needs to follow the same trajectory as the old school quarterback developing.
Right.
Guy, like Eli Manning,
Yeah.
it took like 4 years for him to be any good.
Mm-hmm.
In the modern NFL, there's just too many guys that can kill you with their legs early on and can do well immediately. So you start thinking like, oh, okay, well, you should know what you have in a quarterback in the first 2 years.
They can at least compensate with their athleticism early.
Yeah.
To make up for those mistakes, the learning curve.
And Mills isn't going to do that. I think the biggest lie he's ever told was with his 40 time, because he ran like a 4.6 something 40, which is absurd because he doesn't have that football speed.
No, it doesn't look that way. I mean, he can scramble a little bit outside of the pocket, but he just looks so uncomfortable when he's doing it.
I think that play right there that we showed is with a guy like Mills, what it needs to be, and maybe it will someday. I mean, Geno Smith is now a thing after just being written off by me and others for years and years.
Wild,
I think it took him time to figure it out. And I think with Davis Mills, like that read right there that we just watched is one that just it has to be instantaneous. Like you just know it because you've seen it. And I think sometimes there's a tendency to think, well, because he went to Stanford, he's a smart guy. Well, like that helps you when you're working on your SATs and you've got 30 to 60 seconds for each problem versus snap decisions like that. Okay, so this is the last thing I wanted to show you, which is the tour de force that is an emotional Derek Carr.
For being emotional.
Okay, so here's Derek Carr after the loss the other day, and I'm not listen, everybody. I'm not laughing at Derek Carr's emotion, but if you're gonna be emotional, I'm gonna make a couple requests of you.
I'm just pissed off about some of the things, that a lot of us try and do just to practice what we put our bodies through just to sleep at night.
It's a pregnant pause.
And for that to be the result of all that effort pisses me off. Pisses a lot of guys off. It's hard knowing what some guys are doing. Like I said, just to practice what they're putting in their body just to sleep at night. Like just so we could be there for each other.
Okay. I couldn't get past this part of it.
It's hard. It's really hard to watch.
Dude, no, there's like twice he's talking about the stuff they put in their bodies to sleep at night. Like, dude, what are you, like you're inviting an investigation or something?
100%,
You're diming out your teammates for, and I don't, like, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to name names, but there's 3 guys in alphabetical order that have been,
I don't know. And honestly, I'm not even this isn't like false ignorance here or anything. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, is he just talking about Ambien or guys taking too much Vicodin or?
Don't you get the impression he probably just means like guys are taking like Advil before they go to bed at night, and he's kind of like reading into it. I just feel like that's
because he's like totally a naturopath.
Yes,
so
it's like that's like the car energy that I get.
They're putting NSAIDs into their body, which are just devastating to your gut. And over time that really can upset your GI tract, and you don't want to mess with your microbiome. Yeah, the blood-brain barrier and all that stuff. I listen to a podcast. I listen to a Joe Rogan podcast. I gotta tell you, I feel like I know this stuff pretty well. They're putting a lot of stuff in their bodies.
But am I crazy, or is the accent is throwing me off more than I think almost the emotion that's coming out? I feel like suddenly he just transitioned into this is like Yellowstone. I don't know where that came from.
That's a very good observation. You and Lamont, one of our listeners on the morning show, feel the same way about the Yellowstone. Like he could totally be
it's weird
learning how to rope calves and ride fences and whatever else they do in that show. Are you watching Yellowstone this year?
No, I'm not. I kind of took a stab at it, and it just is a little too. It feels too networky.
I'm almost out. I'm almost out now. It's too much. I can't stand
Too dramatic.
Too many montages too, man. Like
Yeah.
last year they
Yeah.
were all about the sliding horses, the cutting horses, but they like showed them slide over and over and over again. This year, I think it's going to be a whole lot of like the Cowboys themselves roping and stuff. These barrel racers. Every time they introduce a new one, I just want to vomit. It's it's just too much.
Yeah.
And it's and Beth, like I don't like her. I just don't like her. I know that's supposed to be your thing and everything, but I just don't like Beth. All right, I'm done. Rip's an idiot for putting up with her. So, Carr, okay, you're right about the accent because you grew up in suburban Houston and Fresno. I don't know where the accent comes from, and like honestly, like in intentionally poor English at times. Because I know David Carr. Like I know that family.
Yes.
They didn't talk.
No.
It's cool if like where you grow up, that's how you talk. But that's not how they talked. Where they grew, he didn't grow up in a family.
No.
That's would be saying like I ain't no and all that stuff. So I feel like that's all contrived.
It's strange. Yeah, it feels like performance. Yeah.
So he dimes
weird.
out his teammates for what they might be putting in their bodies at night, and I still don't know what it would be, other than like honestly, like if they're drinking a ton of whiskey or something, then that's bad, obviously. But I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
So here's
And I wish everybody in that room felt the same way about this place. And as a leader, that pisses me off, if I'm being honest.
I am really TO'd.
And that's okay. So that's the other part that bothers me is that this is not the first time that he's kind of taken advantage of his pulpit to set himself apart from the guys who don't care on the team.
Yeah, right.
But rest assured, he's going to talk to them about it. Yeah, but I'm going to let you know that I care. But I'm going to talk to those guys who don't care. Earlier in the season, he said, "Hey, there's things I could say up here, but I'm just." And he got dramatic. I'm not going to say it, and I don't. It's like the guys that let you know they're injured. So just in case they have a
of
bad
course,
performance, they've got an
they
excuse
fought through it. They fought through it though.
Yeah, it's false. It's false selflessness, and
it is.
Yeah,
I'm
tired of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell guys on the Texans right now. If you were a player and you were to get up, let's role play, Drew. If the Texans had lost last week to the Giants, which they did, and you just felt like, all right, that's it, I got to say something. What are you saying to the Texans right now? Like they could actually, if advice that if heeded would actually potentially pull them out of this morass.
What is my role in this? Am I the quarterback in this situation? Am I Davis Mills? Am I Drew but Davis Mills? What's my place in this hypothetical?
You're Drew, but you are let's say you're a rookie center who's having an all-pro season.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
It's like you're the one revelation, like the one good thing the Texans have going.
God,
this
it's weird.
year.
I feel like I've lived that life.
Yes,
okay.
yes. It's like you're this phenom rookie center, and you've never been through anything like this, and you got to speak up and say something.
Oh yeah, to be honest, I could absolutely see a scenario where that would happen too, right? I mean, because you have nothing to lose, really.
Right.
I mean, there's a good chance a lot of those coaches are gone.
Uh-huh.
There's a pretty good chance that people are actually going to listen to you because the other given leader that they just hand the mantle to is a quarterback who's in his second year and not doing very well. And then the other captain is on the outs. So what I would see is a power vacuum that I would obviously have to fill that void gladly. I think what you got to do is you just go like you just got to go full like hate mode. It's got to be fiery practices and just pitching fights left and right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's got to be. It's got to just be full fights. I mean, I think that's kind of the. Yeah, I'm not kidding either. I think that's the route you go. You turn every competitive period into fight mode, and I think that's kind of the route you go because why not? I mean, there's no. I'm almost honestly a little surprised that they're not. I don't really get the vibe that they're acting like the season is a foregone conclusion because that 100% is. They're going to win one or two more games.
I like that thinking though, because there was a story about when Robert Quinn got traded to the Eagles. One of the defensive linemen came up to Robert Quinn. One of the veteran defensive linemen, I can't remember which one, walked up to Robert Quinn and said, something along the lines of like, hey, nice to meet you. Just so you know, we practice hard here. And then walked away. We're not, it's like, some teams get this culture where the veteran players want to brother-in-law each other and everything. And for whatever it's worth, and who knows, like, just how true that story is, with the Eagles, they say, like, no, we practice hard here. So, yeah, like, have the kinds of practices where if some guys think you're going too hard and start a fight over it.
Because it's also, to me, at least psychologically, the only really way that you cannot fall into, like, the mundane, and then you just get bad.
If it gets stale.
It gets stale. It gets
really
even worse.
stale.
It gets you get even worse, and you can't have it.
Let's see. James Post says, thanks for putting this on today. Makes my lunch much more fun.
Nice.
Thank you, James.
There we go.
I made your lunch fun. He's probably, yesterday the Astros, well, at least Jeremy Pena was out serving food at Raising Cane's. And,
nice.
Dude, he's like a Beatle.
I was going to say, he's got to be an absolute icon now in Houston. Got to be.
And especially with the teenage girls, because think about it. He's got like a boyish look about him.
For sure.
He's super nice, and he does that Taylor Swift heart thing.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
I know.
It's fine. I don't want to. I can't be like an old, crotchety, awful person all the time. It's fine. It makes me sick, but it's fine.
He's well, we were talking about it. Altuve. Because Altuve's not that old either. When Altuve was like 25 or 26, 27 when they won in 2017. Pena's 25, but he looks like a teenager.
He does. His vibe, his energy is really like boyish.
Yeah, where Altuve's like got a constant 5 o'clock shadow. So I don't think like teenage girls are like the guy that's cute but not threatening. I feel like that's
I know that. That's why I couldn't actually get dates until like midway through college. Yeah.
I feel like that's interesting. So we started talking about Jeremy Pena, and the spam that shows up in the comments is 69 XXX life, a new dating for all. So I guess maybe he's not as unintimidating as I thought he might be.
Did it really just pick up on like the voice cues and then up in spam? Is that real?
Hard with that 3 times. This is not. Look. I don't know. I have to check off a little box that says that this is not content for children. On the YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't, I don't feel like that, I don't know, James. Oh, okay, that's the other one little thing I'll hit before we go. If you guys want actual football stuff, watch the first half hour. This is like super football nerdy heavy. Super heavy football nerdy stuff. So the Twitter and the bot situation. I got like 200 new followers yesterday or over the last couple days.
It's great.
And I started looking at it. I was like, wow, I'm putting some good content out there. And I started looking at them.
The immediate reaction is like, God, I am crushing it.
I wasn't skeptical one bit that all of a sudden I was getting like a flood of new followers. After all, I had tweeted a funny joke about farts. And so I looked at it, and it was like every single one was either like a monkey, like a cartoon monkey as
like an
the
NFT
profile pic, and it was NFTs or crypto. Is that the thing? What is it? What is it with the monkeys and NFT or crypto?
Well, that's like one of the most iconic kind of NFTs, right? That was out there was the monkey NFT that kind of kicked it all off.
Oh, yeah, that one that sold for a lot of money.
Well, did it actually? I guess it did initially sell for that, and then immediately thereafter the market completely collapsed, which I didn't see that coming. But who would have thought? Who would have thought that a completely made-up grifting scheme could have panned out badly for anybody and everyone
something
involved?
Born of people being stuck at home on their computers, losing their minds and a bunch of disposable income that there was nothing to spend money on.
Or own the licensed in image that literally anyone can steal at the drop of a hat.
I'm so glad that NFTs are only going to be kind of a thing moving forward, because I don't.
Are they still going to be a thing at all? Are they?
I think there'll be something. I don't know, there'll be some kind of market for it. We've got 300 million people in this country. There's going to be some. The crypto is the interesting thing, just because like our entire currency is based on somewhat of the similar notion, like fiat currency. The difference is that the government endorses the dollar. It's backed by credit. So like that's the different part. But like we are capable of making things that aren't actually valuable. It's
Sure.
like it's a little, and crypto has kind of capitalized on that little glitch in our matrix that is productive at times, but you can short circuit it out a little bit. With
Crypto's in a tough spot right now, though. I don't know if you've there's some minor setbacks
they're
going
in a
on
tough
with crypto.
spot, but I always look at that and I'm like, look, I don't endorse the whole entire concept of crypto because it's still not even being used as a currency for the most part. But it is, if you'd bought it in 2013, it's when it was worth $1, or 2012, I think it was worth $1 or so to $30. It's sitting at $16,000 right now.
Yeah.
So it's like with a pyramid scheme, or like, let's say multi-level, which is legitimate. It's just you got to get in early on a multi-level. If you don't get in early on the multi-level, it's a job. But like the people that get in early,
I've been trying to get out of Herbalife for like 6 months now. It's killing me.
Did you experiment like when you were done playing with a potential multi-level marketing deal? Or
I think I had to. I'd have to like revisit some of them because there was definitely moments where I would just be driving in my car on like a long ride, just out of nowhere. I would remember a meeting I had like 10 years prior, and I would think like, that was either a cult or like an MLM for sure. And it just like dawned on me for whatever reason. But at the time, I just was like too lazy to follow through. I wasn't even smart enough to say no. I just was too like, I don't want to read this paperwork.
This is it's tempting. It's kind of like the timeshares. The sales pitch is really, really good.
It's really good.
It is really good. Like, and
they're good pitches. You see no downside.
They're have your guard up and everything. Because I remember sending one to my brother. And be like, dude, listen, I know, and I wasn't trying to sell him on it. I just like, I know what this looks like and everything, but I talked to a couple people who seemed like they totally weren't on drugs, and they basically are throwing all of their money into this. So what do you think?
They're not on drugs. Yeah. Oh, I remember. This is like my second or third year in Houston, and I got my agent invited me down to Cabo with Nick Hardwick, the center for San Diego. Yeah, we had the same agent, and we went down there and we're partying for a couple days, and it very quickly transitioned into a nonstop sales pitch by a financial advisor / timeshare guy who took us out on a boat, and we had to basically watch a PowerPoint on a yacht for like 4 hours, and it was kind of like, man, this really now, of course, like that seems like it's worth it. But at the time when I thought like my time was so valuable.
Dude, I am about to show you, I'm about to blow your mind both with my skills on the StreamYard, where I'm going to share this with you, but then also I want you to take a look at Nick Hardwick and what he looks like now.
No, I don't want to. He's going to be so hot. He's going to be so hot. It's going to make me feel terrible.
You just try not to get erect.
Oh, God damn it. Knowing him too, he's going to be shredded.
Is he a psychotic, like hard worker and everything?
He's just like a casual, like extreme performer. Yeah, it pisses me off. God damn it.
He's got
cool tattoos.
He does have cool tattoos. No, look at that. Those tattoos look, I guess it's just the lighting or the exposure.
And he never really was fat either. I mean, he was.
No, he's not. Like even there, right there, it's like he's pasty and everything, but it's not like he's fat.
No.
He's got some kind of weight loss. He's got some kind of weight loss supplement or like help group or something.
He like only played his senior year, I think, too, in college.
Oh, he's like was he a wrestler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interior offensive linemen that were wrestlers, didn't play college football, and then end up playing in the NFL, or they only play like one. I say a lot. There's like 3 of them. There's a guy from the Steelers. There's a guy from the Patriots.
Feels like a lot though when you think about. I mean,
for not having played.
For becoming an elite player. Well, what happened? Did we lose another porn follower?
I'm going to show you again with my elite technical skills. Ball says that'll get me botted. That's true.
Well, I feel like erect is we can definitely incorporate erect in there in a lot of different
the construction biz.
Benign ways. Yeah, for sure. Like building buildings makes me erect.
I like playing with this stuff. This is good. That's probably going to get me botted now too. So Hardwick's got some company. I'm going to give him a little a free live read right here because I listened to him on a podcast with Ross Tucker, and he's actually pretty interesting.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's a
yeah.
super interesting guy. He's kind of one of those like he's a little bit of like a Renaissance man.
Is he?
Yeah.
It's Hardwick.life, which is it's not just like, it's not like weight loss supplements or whatever. It's like you join, and I think he kind of gives you all these tracking apps and like a spreadsheet. Because when he lost all his weight, he like got on a spreadsheet and monitored
tracked it.
everything,
Yeah.
and it was keeping his
Right.
yeah. So he wait, stop screen. Oh, there we go. They're right there. Looking to lose weight, build muscle, regain energy, and feel confident about yourself? I kind of am. Should I join right now?
I'm in.
Let's do this. Let's join the Hardwick life. Oh, come on.
God, man, that is rough. That was a golden opportunity.
Oh, I got weekly meetings with a private network. There we go. And an
Okay.
accountability app. That's $0. I can add this to my cart. It's $0. I can't lose.
No, you can't beat that.
So, hey, Ballal, could I, am I going to, oh no, don't do that. Keep my billing address and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hardwick, we'll have to have Hardwick on and get shredded.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Do
Yeah.
you have abs right now?
No. Post COVID, the abs I had, there was one beautiful shining moment where I could see the kind of the angles there. And that has since that's in the past now.
All right, so you guys can also see how bad. So I should have unshared.
It's my birthday, by the way. I'm 41 today.
You are?
Yeah.
See, this is how good I am. I'm like, actually, my cursor's up on the shared screen to where we go. Stop. Remove. Okay, good. We're back. Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, buddy.
I wish I kept stuff like this.
I know.
On record. So you're 41.
41. Do you have abs?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
I gave up on that long
Good,
ago.
I'm glad.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know what happens? I get pretty lean, and I look good in clothes, and like my face leans out and everything. But as soon as I start lifting weights, I just get
Puffy.
ravenous. Like I get so hungry.
Oh yeah, same.
I
yeah.
cannot control it. So like
Yeah.
I get up to, I'll get down to like 255, 260, and I'll do one leg workout, and like a week later I'm 280. I get so hungry all the time.
And the cardio doesn't do that. Like if you're just doing
No, as long as I'm doing
Same.
as long as I do it reasonably. If I'm doing like hardcore intervals or something, I will. Or if like I'm running hills, like anything that gets my legs, they're like depleted of glycogen. I think
Right.
I get so hungry to the point where I feel like a zombie.
What if we do what if we like do the what is it, the MS 150?
The bike ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I would, I guess. That sounds. I actually. Do you do it one day?
Scott Jackson does it. Old former Texan.
Okay.
Played offensive line.
All right. Yeah, I could do that. When is it? We can raise money for
I
multiple
think it's in the
sclerosis.
spring.
Okay. I sweat so much. Okay, I've run. I mean, I
do too.
I ran a 50-mile ultra marathon. So
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I've done stuff like that before. I just remember how I lost a lot of weight just from that one race. I remember like being the first few days. You're bloated afterwards. You're kind of swollen because your whole body's inflamed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I remember like on Wednesday of that next week, I woke up and I was like emaciated. Like I looked like a high school wrestler.
Yeah. I tell people that you ran that at that way too. I mean, even guys that I've volunteer coached with, and it's probably goes down as one of the most impressive post football career feats. That is a bonkers achievement because you were still like 285 or something at the time, right?
It was the same thing there with that amount of running. With that amount of running that I was doing for that, because I was running like, I would go like 15 miles on a Saturday and then 15 miles on a Sunday. Like that was also really hard to control your diet then because you're just so hungry all the time. Yeah. And you're just and you're also in your mind, you're like, well, of course I need the entire pizza.
I need these calories,
yes.
guys. I need
athlete,
these. I gotta carb load.
Yeah, and you read all these books and articles by ultra marathoners, and so many of them are like they're like these little,
Yeah, they're
these
naturally
cross-country machines, and they can't eat like 2 pizzas and stay at like 3% body fat.
Right.
And that's when it was good it was good as almost like a reframing of my body image, because when you start running distance, you start being jealous of like the super skinny dudes with the big ET heads and everything.
Yeah.
I would look at these skinny guys and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how they could just glide so effortlessly over the asphalt. It's awesome.
How they're just lapping you around Memorial Park
Yeah.
effortlessly,
Yeah.
with no downside. You're just like, oh my God. Yeah, but then you realize you can't run like that now. I mean, it destroys my feet. I can't even.
No, I couldn't run like that. But I almost feel like maybe I should just get Runner's World, the magazine, or something instead of Men's Health, just so I just start seeing those body types as the ones that I'm going to get dangerously.
Oh yeah, instead of like being knee deep in body dysmorphia and just murdering your ego by watching hairless tan guys on the cover every week. I don't do that.
I haven't. It hasn't made me crazy enough to actually like get anything close to that in that kind of shape or anything.
No, that's a gene pool problem, not an effort problem.
All right, buddy. I'll let you go. Happy birthday. 41 is a great accomplishment. You're probably not even halfway done with your life yet, and you've got many great more things to accomplish. Can I tell everybody watching what your new venture is?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're buying a furniture store.
I am.
You're the mattress. You're going to be the mattress Mac of Austin. No, you're buying a furniture factory.
I'm buying a mid-sized cabinet manufacturing company outside of Hartford, Connecticut.
In New England. You're an industrialist, but you're not moving to Connecticut, are you?
No, I will not be moving to Connecticut. No.
Are you in the management's in place?
Yeah, well, it'll be there. I mean, we haven't closed yet, so let's not, knock on wood. I mean, we'll see. We're hoping to get it done by the end of the year, but that's part of nice little live read here, I guess, if I can just plug it. But it's part of a new M&A venture that I started called Cambion with a partner of mine.
Have you considered multi-level marketing for your cabinets?
I have. Yeah. So you build 2 cabinets, you get your friends to build 2 cabinets.
Yeah. Anybody who watches this video can get in on this now. And you're gonna be at the ground level as the cabinet maker, as the cabinets take off. All right.
Yeah, get in. Yeah.
Happy birthday, buddy. I'll call you later to have an actual conversation about your birthday.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. Bye.